Jayam Vishnupad Pamsacharya Stota Stota Sri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Gaur Premanande. All glories to Sama devotees. All glories to Sama devotees. All glories to Sama devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Garanga and Sri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 85. Lord Krishna instructs Vasudev. Text number 57. Okay, so this reads up to that point. Tam drisva devaki devi mirtya gama niga gama mena sa vismita mayam krishnasya rachitam nipa. Translation. Seeing her sons return from death and then depart again, saintly Devaki was struck with wonder. O king, she concluded that this was all simply an illusion created by Krishna. Text 58. Evam vijani abhutani krishnasya paramatmanaha viryani ananta viryasya santi anantani bharata. Sri Krishna, the Supreme Soul, the Lord of unlimited valor, performed countless pastimes, just as amazing as this one, O descendant of Bharat. Text 59. Okay. Yaidam ashnoti shrayet va murayas. Charitam amrita kriyate vanitam vyasputra hai. Jagat agaha bit alam tat bhakta satkarna puram. Bhagavati krita chito yati tat shemadama. Yaidam ashnoti shrayavetya murares. Charitam amrita kirtas vanitam vyasputra hai. Jagat agabit alam tat bhakta satkarna puram. Bhagavati krita chito yati tat shemadama. Yaidam anushroti shrayavetya murares. Charitam amrita kirte vanitam vyasputra. Jagat agabit alam tat bhakta satkarna puran. Bhagavati kriyato chiti yata yache madama. I'd like to repeat. Vacha Kaidam Anushrati Charevecha Vahare Charitam Amrita Kirtis Vanitam Vyasputre Shri Sutta Vacha Kaidam Anushrati Charevecha Vahare Itamamrita Kite Vanitam Vyasputre Ugataga Vitaram Bhakta Satkana Puram Bhagavati Krita Chodyati Dachina Matajis. Haida Namaskoti Saya Tamarari Okay, word for word, Sri Sutta Vacha. Sri Sutta said to the sages assembled at Namasharanya, to whom he was repeating the conversation between Sukadev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. Ya, whoever, Nidam, this, Anushroti, properly hears, Shrayayet, causes others to hear, Va, O, Murare, of Lord Krishna, killer of the demon Mura, Charitam, pastime, Amrita, deathless, Kirtehe, whose glories, Varnitam, described, Vyasaputrahe, by the respected son of Vyasadev, Jagat, of the universe, Agaha, the sins, Bit, which, pastime, destroys, Alam, totally, Tat, his, Bhakta, for the devotees, Sat, transcendental, Karnapuram, ornament for the ears, Bhagavati, on the Supreme Lord, Krita, fixing, Chitta, his mind, Yati, he goes, Tat, his, Shema, auspicious, Dhamma, to the personal abode. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Sri Sutta Goswami said, this pastime enacted by Lord Murari, whose fame is eternal, totally destroys the sins of the universe and serves as the transcendental ornament for his devotees' ears. Anyone who carefully hears or narrates this pastime, as recounted by the venerable son of Vyas, will be able to fix his mind in meditation on the Supreme Lord and attain to the all-auspicious kingdom of God. Purport. According to Srila Swami, hearing the wonderful events of Lord Krishna's life destroys the sins in a manner that is perfect, alam, because it is easy. Anyone can easily participate in this hearing, and those who become devoted to Krishna always enjoy wearing on their ears the ornaments of topics concerning him. Not only those who were present at the time of their occurrence, but also Sukadeva Goswami, Sutta Goswami, and all who have heard since, and everyone in the universe who will hear in the future, all are blessed by the continuous recital of Lord Krishna's transcendental glories. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Umilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stavitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadambayam Vedanti Swavedantikam Vanchakalpadarubhishcha Kripasindhuveva Patitinam Bhavanavi Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Okay. So here we're hearing about the benefits of listening to the transcendental glories of the Lord. That simply by hearing we can return to the eternal, all-auspicious kingdom of God, which is the goal of the human form of life. And we have many examples of devotees who are saved in this way, like Narada Muni. Narada Muni was just a simple son of a servant lady, and these sages would come and stay with them, and he would eat the remnants of their food, and by associating with them, he would hear them discussing the glories of the Lord. And by hearing those glories, he became purified in his heart and became a great devotee. And then he preached those glories to Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad Maharaj wasn't even born yet, simply in the womb. He was preaching these glories of the Lord to him in the womb, and he also became a great devotee. So this is the potency of hearing the glories of the Lord. And the whole Srimad Bhagavatam is full of prayers of different great devotees glorifying the Lord. Like we have in the first canto, we have the prayers by Vyasadeva. Then we have prayers by Arjuna, prayers by Queen Kunti, by Bhishmadev, by the ladies of Hastinapur. In the second canto, prayers by Sukadeva Goswami. Third canto, we have prayers of Kadama Muni, and then Devahuti, and then prayers by Dhruva Maharaj, and prayers by Maharaj Prithu. And sixth canto, we have Ritasura's prayers, prayers of King Chitraketu, Prahlad Maharaj prayers in the seventh canto. Eighth canto, we have the prayers of Gajendra. Then we have the prayers of Satyavrata. 10th canto, so many prayers. Satyavrata, the prayers of the demigods. Nala Kubera, the prayers of Lord Brahma, the prayers of the wives of Kaliya, prayers of Lord Indra, of the gopis, Akrura, Muchakunda, Rudra, and the prayers of the Vedas. So the whole Srimad Bhagavatam just full of prayers glorifying the Lord. So I thought I could go through we could hear the prayers of Gajendra. Gajendra is caught by this crocodile, and he's praying to the Lord, glorifying the Lord to be released. So we're all caught in this crocodile of Maya. So we can pray like Lord Gajendra. So in the 8th canto, he's saying, the king of the elephants, Gajendra said, I offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Person Vasudeva, Because of him, this material body acts due to the presence of spirit, and he is therefore the root cause of everyone. He is worshipable for such exalted persons as Brahma and Shiva, and he has entered into the heart of every being. Let me meditate upon him. Jai Shri Nitai Gauranga Ki Jai. And then text number 3. The Supreme Godhead is the supreme platform on which everything rests, the ingredient by which everything has been produced, and the person who has created and is only cause of this cosmic manifestation. Nonetheless, he is different from the cause and the result. I surrender unto him the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is self-sufficient in everything. Text number 4. The Supreme Personality, by expanding his own energy, keeps this cosmic manifestation visible and again sometimes renders it invisible. He is both the supreme cause and the supreme result, the observer and the witness in all circumstances. Thus, he is transcendental to everything. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead give me protection. Text number 5. In due course of time, when all the causative effects and manifestations of the universe, including the planets and their directors and maintainers, are annihilated, there is a situation of dense darkness. Above this darkness, however, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I take shelter of his lotus feet. Text number 6. An artist on stage, being covered by attractive dresses and dancing with different movements, is not understood by his audience. Similarly, the activities and feature of the supreme artist cannot be understood even by the demigods or great sages, and certainly not by those who are unintelligent like animals. Neither the demigods and sages nor the unintelligent can understand the features of the Lord, nor can they express in words his actual position. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead give me protection. Text number 10. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the self-effulgent Supersoul, who is the witness in everyone's heart, who enlightens the individual soul and who cannot be reached by exercises of the mind, words, or consciousness. Text 11. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is realized by pure devotees who act in the transcendental existence of Bhakti Yoga. He is the bestower of uncontaminated happiness and is the master of the transcendental world. Therefore, I offer my respect unto him. Text 12. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Vasudeva, who is all-pervading, to the Lord's fierce form as Lord Nrsingadev, to the Lord's form as an animal, Lord Varahadev, to Lord Dattatreya, who preached impersonalism, to Lord Buddha, and to all other incarnations. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has no material qualities, but who accepts the three qualities of goodness, passion, and ignorance within this material world. I also offer my respectful obeisances unto the impersonal Brahman effulgence. Text 13. I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are the Supersoul, the superintendent of everything, and the witness of all that occurs. You are the Supreme Person, the origin of the material nature and the total material energy. You are the owner of the material body. Therefore, you are the Supreme Complete. I offer my obeisances unto you. My Lord, you are the observer of all the objectives of the senses. Without your mercy, there is no possibility of solving the problem of doubts. The material world is just like a shadow resembling you. Indeed, no one accepts this material world as real because it gives a glimpse of your existence. Text 15. My Lord, you are the cause of all causes, but you yourself have no cause. Therefore, you are the wonderful cause of everything. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are the shelter of the Vedic knowledge contained in the Shastras like Pancharatras and Vedanta Sutra, which are your representations, and who are the source of the Parampara system. Because it is you who can give liberation. You are the only shelter for all transcendentalists. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Text 16. My Lord, as the fire in Arani wood is covered, you and your unlimited knowledge are covered by the material modes of nature. Your mind, however, is not attentive to the activities of the modes of nature. Those who are advanced in spiritual knowledge are not subject to the regulative principles directed in the Vedic literatures. Because such advanced souls are transcendental, you personally appear in their pure minds. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Text 17. Since an animal such as me has surrendered unto you, who are supremely liberated, certainly you will release me from this dangerous position. Indeed, being extremely merciful, you incessantly try to deliver me by your partial features, Paramatma. You are situated in the hearts of all embodied beings. You are celebrated as direct transcendental knowledge, and you are unlimited. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 18. My Lord, those who are completely freed from material contamination always meditate upon you within the core of their hearts. You are extremely difficult to attain for those like me who are too attached to mental concoction, home, relatives, friends, money, servants, and assistants. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, uncontaminated by the modes of nature. You are the reservoir of all enlightenment, the Supreme Controller. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. After worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, those who are interested in the four principles of religion, economic development, sense gratification, liberation, obtain from him what they deserve. What then is to be said of other benedictions? Indeed, sometimes the Lord gives a spiritual body of such ambitious worshippers. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unlimitedly merciful, bestow upon me the benediction of liberation from this present danger and from the materialistic way of life. Text 20 and 21. Unalloyed devotees who have no desire other than to serve the Lord, worship him in full surrender and always hear and chant about his activities, which are most wonderful and auspicious. Thus they always merge in an ocean of transcendental bliss. Such devotees never ask the Lord for any benediction. I, however, am in danger. Thus I pray that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is eternally existing, who is invisible, who is the Lord of all great personalities, such as Brahma, and who is available only by transcendental bhakti yoga, being extremely subtle, he is beyond the reach of my senses, and transcendental to all external realization. He is unlimited, he is the original cause, and he is completely full in everything. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Text 22 to 24. The Supreme Personality of Godhead creates his minor parts and parcels, the Jiva Tattva, beginning with Lord Brahma, the demigods, and the expansions of the Vedic knowledge, and including all other living entities, moving and non-moving, with their different names and characteristics, as the sparks of a fire or the shining rays of the sun emanate from their source and merge into it again and again. The mind, the intelligence, the senses, the gross and subtle material bodies, and the continuous transformation of the different modes of nature all emanate from the Lord, and again emerge into him. He is neither demigod nor demon, neither human nor bird or beast. He is not woman, man, or neuter, nor is he an animal. He is not a material quality or fruit of activity, a manifestation or non-manifestation. He is the last word in the discrimination of not this, not this. He is unlimited. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I do not wish to live any more after I am released from the attack of the crocodile. What is the use of an elephant's body covered externally and internally by ignorance? I simply desire eternal liberation from the covering of ignorance. That covering is not destroyed by the influence of time. Text 26. Now fully desiring release from material life, I offer my respectful obeisances unto that Supreme Person, who is the creator of the universe, who is himself the form of the universe, who is nonetheless transcendental to this cosmic manifestation. He is the supreme knower of everything in this world, the super soul of the universe. He is unborn, supremely situated Lord. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Text 27. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme, the Super Soul, the Master of all mystic yoga, who is seen in the core of the heart by the perfect mystics. When they are completely purified and freed from the reactions of fruitive activities by practicing Bhakti Yoga. Text 28. My Lord, you are the controller of formidable strength in all three kinds of energy. You appear as the reservoir of all sense pleasure and the protector of the surrendered souls. You possess unlimited energy, but you are unapproachable by those who are unable to control their senses. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you again and again. Text 29. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whose illusory energy the Jiva, who is part and parcel of God, forgets his real identity because of the bodily concept of life. I take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose glories are difficult to understand. Shri Shri Gajendra Ki Jai. So, some wonderful prayers there. So sometimes when we offer prayers to the Lord, we can recite these prayers a little bit better than our own prayers, just a little bit. So there's very beautiful prayers. So, but sometimes we cannot appreciate the glories of the Lord. This is our problem. We do not always have taste for glorifying the Lord. Isn't it? Everything we do in the spiritual life is all about glorifying the Lord. We're chanting the holy names. We're glorifying the Lord. We're going out, we're doing service. What is the objective of our service? To spread the glories of the Lord. We do our Guru Puja. We are glorifying the spiritual master. Here we're speaking Bhagavatam. We're glorifying the Lord. But sometimes we do not have too much taste. And why is that? Because we are intoxicated by our own glories. Isn't we attached to honor and dishonor? Just like Lord Indra, that Lord Indra couldn't understand the glories of the Lord. He couldn't understand the glories of Lord Krishna. And that when the residents of Raja, when they decided to worship Govardhan Hill instead of worshipping him, then and why? Because they were convinced by this young boy, this young cowherd, Krishna. He convinced them that why are you worshipping Lord Indra? Rather worship Govardhan Hill. Govardhan Hill is supplying all the eatables for the cows and the water and all these good things. Worship Govardhan Hill, and they all became bewildered by this young boy. So then Lord Indra became angry. He couldn't understand, who is this young boy? Couldn't understand his glories. And why is that? Because Lord Indra is in heaven and he's so much being glorified himself. And he has such a big position. And therefore he couldn't understand the glories of Krishna. And therefore he became angry. And then we know the whole story that he rained down this devastation on the residents of Raj to try and destroy them. and Krishna held up Govardhan Hill and protected all the residents. So this is a big problem that we are in material life. We become intoxicated by our own glories, by our own whatever small opulence we have. Like Krishna is Bhagavan. He possesses all these opulences unlimitedly. He's unlimitedly wealthy. He's unlimitedly famous. He's unlimitedly renounced. He's unlimitedly kind. He's unlimitedly beautiful. So many opulences. In the material world, we're all trying to compete with Krishna to increase our own opulences so that we can compete with the opulences of the Lord and increase our own glories in this world. But imagine there's a person sitting next to us who we cannot compete with in any way. In the material world, everyone is trying to compete with everyone else to become the numero uno, the number one personality. But imagine there's a personality sitting next to you, and no matter how hard you try, you will just never, ever compete with them. Like, they are just unlimitedly better than you, like at everything. They're just unlimitedly, whatever talents you have, they have those talents, but just unlimitedly more than you. You know, like we think, oh yeah, I'm pretty intelligent, but there's this person next to me, just no matter what I can do, he's just always more intelligent than me. Isn't it? It'd be irritating. There's this person, no matter how much knowledge I have, they always have more knowledge than me. Or if you're a very rich man and you're thinking, wow, I'm Elon Musk, but there's this person, just no matter how hard you try, you can never compete with them. Isn't it? Wouldn't that be irritating, frustrating? Because we want to be number one. That is the mind. The mind is always wants to be number one. But there's this personality, no matter how hard you try, you will never beat them. You can never compete with them. And that personality is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And we are in the material world. Why did we come here? Because we had this foolish illusion that we can compete with Krishna, isn't it? That's why we came to this material world. We wanted to be our own little God. So Krishna's like, okay, you can come to the material world and you can compete with all the other gods. You know, everyone is there and they're all trying to be God and you can compete with them. But there's this one person that you can't compete, and therefore in our mind, we don't like to hear his glories. We think, oh, what about my glories? Isn't it? But you just cannot compete with Krishna. And therefore, that most fundamental principle in spiritual life, humility, like these, Bhaktivinoda said that these that are Kuntimala, they are around our necks, just like represent humility and tolerance. That they are the ornament of the Vaishnava. So in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, Prabhupada defines humility. He says, humility means that one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. The material concept of life makes us very eager to receive honor from others. But from the point of view of a man in perfect knowledge, who knows that he is not this body, anything, honor or dishonor pertaining to this body is useless. One should not be hankering after this material deception. So that is that quality of being attached to honor and dishonor. And of course, it's a very subtle quality. Like if you're attached to lust, it's pretty obvious you're attached to lust. You know it, you know. It's pretty clear. Or of greed, you know it. You know you want money, but that attachment to honor and dishonor, it's more subtle. It's not so obvious, you know, but it has its symptoms. Just like wind, we cannot see wind, but we can experience it through its symptoms. Like we can drop some leaves and you can see through its symptoms. So what are the symptoms of when we attach to honor? So one is that we feel anger, or we feel depressed, or we feel fear of dishonor, isn't it? If someone dishonors us, they disrespect us, then we do not able to tolerate. You get angry, you get upset, or we fear dishonor. We cannot tolerate the no word. Like sometimes when you go in book distribution, you hear a lot of no's. It becomes very difficult to tolerate. No, no, no. You're like, no, can't handle all these no's. That's why the spiritual master would send the brahmachari out to go begging for alms. Because when you go begging for alms, you hear a lot of no's. And all those no's are good for the soul. Yeah? So this book distribution is like a modern begging. We go out to beg, to help us to overcome that attachment. And even the sons of kings, in Vedic culture, for them, education wasn't necessarily about just gathering facts and figures and all about science and technology and mathematics. For them, education was education and character. Like all those things should be there, but if that education and character is not there, then what is the education? It's useless, because then what will we use all that knowledge for? We'll use it for nonsense. So sometimes humility also means being bold for Krishna. Sometimes due to fear of dishonor, fear of people saying no, fear of discredit, we cannot be bold for Krishna. So sometimes one has to be bold for Krishna and not be attached. What will people say? Sometimes you have to, we fear that people will criticize us. We fear being ourselves, which has its, good things and its bad things. That's why we associate with devotees. Because when you associate with devotees, then that fear helps the mind, because we fear if we act wrongly, devotees are going to criticize us. And that can be a good thing also. So that's one good aspect of associating with devotees, because the mind gets motivated to act in the proper way out of fear of dishonor. And then when we get honor, we feel very happy. We feel very blissful. And when another person is honored, we feel very envious, isn't it? Like Lord Indra, that Krishna is getting honored. They're listening to Krishna. They're honoring Govardhan Hill. Why are they not honoring me? He became envious, became angry, became upset. And then we want to take honor away from others by criticizing them, by finding the faults in them. See, that way we try to increase our own honor by taking the glories away from others. How we can take those glories, which indirectly increases our own glories. Like it says, familiarity breeds contempt. So when we are living with people, we get a lot of ammunition to not see their glories, isn't it? Because we see all the little faults that are there. In our own families, we see all the little faults, but then we have to zoom out. Like we should see that these things are just spots on the moon. You have to zoom out and see things from the bigger perspective of what the person is doing in their life. Despite whatever faults that are there. Like, and the Vyasa Puja of the spiritual master is there because the spiritual master is showing us how whatever credit that we get in this world, we should pass it up the parampara to Krishna. He is demonstrating to us. Because in the Vyasa Puja, we are glorifying the spiritual master. And he is demonstrating to us how whatever glories he is getting, he is passing it up the parampara. He is not stealing those glories for himself. So this is this is the idea. So when we act in this world, we are not acting for our own glories, to increase our own glories. That is generally how we act. But when we're going out into the world, of course, we want to be successful for Krishna. We're going out to preach, to increase Krishna's glories in the world. So, but we shouldn't go out to increase our own glories. Whatever success we get in the world, we're doing that to increase the glories of Krishna, increase the glories of the spiritual master. And that's why Bhaktisiddhanta said that in spiritual life, those who are our enemies, they're actually our friends. Because the materialist, or at least materialist or the mind, the mind is always eager for honor and hates dishonor, but the devotee is eager for dishonor, isn't it? He is eager for the advanced devotee. He is eager for correction. And he is averse to honor. Thinks, this honor is very dangerous. And this honor can destroy my spiritual life. So when someone dishonors him, he thinks, this is very wonderful. Like Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya decided that Lord Chaitanya was always respecting him as a senior, and he was feeling this is very bad. This is a terrible situation. That he wanted to be the junior of the Lord, so he decided, let me go and preach Mayavad. So he went to preach Mayavad, telling everyone, it's all one. We are all God. It's all the same path. All the gods are one. And Lord Chaitanya became very angry. And he came and just pulled Advaita Acharya off the Vyasasana and started kicking him. Not even just criticizing him or chastising. He was just giving him the full-on mercy, just smashing him with his foot and kicking him. And Vedacharya is in ecstasy. Jai, Jai, finally I'm getting the mercy of the Lord. Yeah? So that is the devotee. When we get kicked by our enemies, we're thinking, the Lord is giving me this mercy. Yeah? Thank you for this dishonor helping me to be humble. So, because it's fairly advanced. Not always to be imitated, but anyway, we can preach to our mind anyway about it. So what is the symptom of one who's detached? Like if someone is detached from money, then they're very kind with their money. They give out their money easily. So similarly, if one is detached from honor and dishonor, they very easily give honor to others. Because it's not worth anything to them. They always want to give honor to others. So in our mind, we should always be honoring the devotees. Amanina manadena kitanya sadahari. Always in our mind, we should have that sadhana of offering respect to others. And not thinking about whatever respect someone may have given me or whatever respect I can get in the future. We should always have that sadhana of giving respect to others. And by doing that, we can get that taste for glorifying the Lord. Like there's this verse from the Bible. It says that whoever claims to love God yet hates a brother or sister is a liar. For whoever does not love their brother or sister whom they have seen cannot love God whom they have not seen. Yeah. So although we can see the Lord on the altar, maybe some of us don't always have the vision that we are directly seeing Krishna on the altar. So And why is that? Because if we cannot love those who are visible before us, how is it that we'll be able to love Krishna who we cannot see? So Krishna is sending these people to us as a test. That can we properly appreciate those and have the humility to properly respect and honor those who are around us. Because it's guaranteed that Krishna is going to send someone who we find very difficult to respect and honor, isn't it? By Krishna's arrangement. Although we want him to always send nice people to us, sometimes he sends difficult people to test us. So we should think that the gateway to the kingdom of Krishna is at the lotus feet of our enemies, isn't it? That those people that really rub us in the wrong way, that we should think that actually Krishna sent us these people, and that the gateway to purification is at their lotus feet. That how can I properly appreciate this person? And therefore it said in Bhagavad Gita, Vijay Vinaya Sampane Brahmane Khavastane Sunya Sveva Sapakacha Pandita Samadashana. That the Pandit, the humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, is able to see Krishna within everyone. Whether they're very learned or gentle Brahmana, or they're very low dog or a dog eater or an elephant, whatever kind of body, he is able to see Krishna because he's able to see the good that is in every single person. The devotee is trying to always fan that good, whatever flame of goodness he sees in others, he is trying to flame that goodness. And that is how we see Krishna, by seeing the goodness in the devotees. Like Srila Prabhupada was giving a lecture in his Matchless Gift storefront, and a homeless man came in to the lecture, and the devotees didn't want to let him in. I think, this man is very smelly, and his clothes are all dirty, and thought we should not allow him to disturb the lecture. Prabhupada was, no, allow him in. And he came with 2 toilet rolls, and he put them into the bathroom. And Prabhupada was appreciating him. Just see, this man has begun his devotional service. So that is the devotee. He is always looking for, like a fly, looking for whatever good, not like a fly, like a honeybee, looking for whatever good quality. And then whatever little flame of goodness is there, he is trying to fan that flame so that it can grow into a big fire. So whatever flame is there in our heart towards Krishna, we need to fan that flame. And the best way we can fan that flame is by fanning the flame that is in others. The more that we give out to others, the more we fan the flame in others of Krishna consciousness, that goodness that is there in the hearts of everyone, then the more that goodness that is in our own heart becomes manifest. So if we can act like that, then eventually we can get that real taste for glorifying the Lord, if we can just purify our hearts enough and really attain that level of humility where we just get such ecstatic taste for glorifying the Lord. And then we can attain what this verse is saying. We can attain that qualification to return back to the eternal spiritual kingdom of Krishna. Jai, thank you very much. Any comments or questions? It's okay, I can hear.
So that was very nice point you made. I was just thinking about it that many times when we're trying to uh, see that way, even making an attempt, then what happens is that we start considering is there any element of truth in their criticism?
Yes.
So, and most of the times there is, and
Mm.
sometimes we might find it is biased. So then we are not able to accept it wholeheartedly because
Yes.
how, because we don't find it reasonable. But
Yes.
then, according to what you said today, even if it is unreasonable, but it is because good for my purification of ego, maybe I should accept it.
Mm.
So, but I guess this is a very advanced platform for me to implement. So, how
Yes.
do we go forward with this?
No, I think it's Bhakti Vinod who said that the devotee is introspective as the non-devotee is speculative. So, so we can take it as food for thought. Someone who is envious of us, they might simply be finding fault and seeing faults that are not there, or there might be some genuine thing. We can not necessarily they're not our spiritual masters. That we don't have to necessarily take it as coming directly from Krishna, but we can take it as food for thought, at least. Maybe Krishna is speaking through this person. We can take it as something that we can contemplate, and we can ask those who we do have faith in, who are, and ask them what do they think. Do they agree that this you have this fault? You know, so like that, we can benefit from the criticism of others. Because our friends, for our friends, our faults are just like spots on the moon. They don't even see it. But for our enemies, our spots are intolerable, isn't it? Cannot tolerate. So, so we don't necessarily have to take it that it's true, but we can just take it as food for thought and something to contemplate. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji, for this wonderful class. Actually, related to Prabhuji's question only. So, should we, when we are insulted, because what happens, it becomes very difficult to accept the insult or humiliation,
Yes.
and then should we fake it that I'm humble, I will accept it, or should I go to, should, or some other mean I should take if such situation arises? Because mind is like, it's always running towards that somebody insults, then then chanting will also spoil.
Yes.
Mind will go only in that thing only. Why he said
Yes.
that like
Yes.
this?
Yes.
So I'm not at that platform that I can really think that this is Krishna's mercy. So
Yes.
what is the actually procedure to reach to that platform? How it will happen?
You have to preach to your mind. The mind is, to whatever extent we try to control the mind, and then we have to use our intelligence and try and preach to the mind, and try to see things from that opposite devotional perspective. And if the intelligence is not too strong, then we can ask for someone to preach to us to have that intelligence. Take shelter of Bhagavatam, or you know, listen to the pastimes of Advaita Acharya and how he's getting kicked and how he thinks this is wonderful, and pray to the Lord how he can understand these pastimes, and like that, pray to the Lord for if the intelligence doesn't work, then we just have to pray for mercy, isn't it? We go to senior devotees, ask them, and just pray to the deities for their mercy to control the mind. So in Kali Yuga, we're all mercy cases. So if intelligence doesn't work, then we just can pray for the mercy. That's very important and necessary for us.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the beautiful lecture. Prabhuji, my question is inherently in all over the world globally, money and honor goes hand in hand. So you said two thoughts in the end of the lecture that some people are very not so attached to the money uh, and they are very kind in giving and but some people like those who have money they get honor, those who don't have money they don't get honor. So uh, so how to handle that situation where you are put in such a situation and then you get attached to that honor. So how to handle that situation?
So you're saying that you are getting honored and you're feeling how does one not get proud because of that honor? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like in our society it is those who are earning money they get honor and those who
Yes.
are not earning money they don't get honor. So
Yes.
how to accept that fact?
Oh, okay. So we get upset that people who have money are getting honored, and that's yeah. It says in the 12th canto, you know how in Kali Yuga, money is the honey. You know, everything in society is about money. You know, like in Vedic society, one would get honored in society based on their qualification of the four varnas. You know that wasn't exact. Well, you know, it gets perverted into birth, but you know, birth was a part of it. But you had to become qualified. You know, and from based on these things, honor was the given in society on that. But in modern society, whether one is low class or middle class or upper class, it's all about money. But how can we not get upset? Well, you know, the devotee, I mean, we are getting upset because we want that honor. Isn't it like the devotee doesn't care about honor? Like the many devotees here, they get a lot of honor, but they do not have any wealth. Isn't it Krishna that Prabhupada is creating ISKCON to create a Brahmanical class in society? And and those devotees are getting a lot of honor besides not having any money. So we are recreating that in society. And the devotee is, the devotee is detached. The devotee is not attached to who is getting honor and who is not getting honor. And, you know, we always want to, we always think, let them take the honor, because this honor is contaminating, isn't it? Like here I am on the Vyasasana and everyone is looking at me. It's contaminating, isn't it? It's increasing the false ego. So the spiritual master is showing us how we can just channel whatever honor we get up to the parampara and be detached from honor. Because to the devotee, honor is like stool. It's not something that they want. It is not something to fight about or get upset about. It's not worth anything. Actually, it's contaminating. It's actually something which is a hindrance in our spiritual life. So we're not averse to honor, but we're not attached to honor either. Whatever honor is there, we don't care about honor. Whatever is honor there, we want to honor up to the spiritual master, honor to the Lord. And whatever honor we receive, we immediately want to give it out and not try to keep any of that honor. So it's difficult, obviously. The mind wants the honor, you know. So also we can't be too idealistic. Often when we read the Bhagavatam and we're attracted to spiritual life because we're very idealistic, and then when things don't meet our ideals, we get upset. But to be practical in this world, sometimes you have to give honor uh, in ways which are not maybe the ideal according to Bhagavatam or something like that. So we can't be too much ideal. Sometimes although we're not living in this society here, we're living in this little Vedic society in our own mind that doesn't exist yet, and we're getting upset. Why is my Vedic society not existing? And that's not the society we're in. We're in this society, and we have to live in this society and work with the way things work in this society. That is the factual reality. And we have to accept that reality and work with it, not being upset why Krishna's ideal, Vedic, wonderful society, things are not working like that. Then that's too much idealism. It can also be a problem in spiritual life. We have to accept and work with what we have, and even that is Krishna's arrangement. Krishna is in control, and it is exactly as Krishna wants it to be. So we have to work with what Krishna gives us and not be upset that things are not in our ideal, imagined, happy world. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Okay.